So can I love? I've already asked. Who would have known matters of the heart would be such a task? These 12 words come from a song by Logic on his iconic mixtape Young Sinatra Undeniable titled 500 Days of Summer. Now, as good as the song is, this question at the end of the first verse had me wondering, can I actually love? Especially in the era of dating we are in today, where essentially there is this epidemic of loneliness that many people are experiencing these days. So it kind of questions people, could they actually find love? So on a random late night about 3 a.m. ish, sitting and reminiscing on all the failed talking stations that I have, I sat and wondered if we have a dating problem. More specifically, does Gen Z have a dating problem? And as I'm scrolling through my recommended on YouTube, I see this video titled Gen Z has a dating problem. Hence why the initial thesis of my video and the title of this video is, does Gen Z have a dating problem? We're going to sit and watch this video together, give my thoughts and opinions, and you know what this video is all about. I've only seen it in full once, so I kind of remember most of it. So sit back, relax, grab some food. It's almost Thanksgiving by the time I'm recording this video, so I know y'all gonna be eating good this weekend. And without further ado, if you are new, please subscribe. And yeah, let's go.
Gen Z have been done dirty when it comes to dating.
I fucking hate dating apps.
Dating apps are by far the biggest waste of time.
We're living in a generation where 49% of people think how much you earn matters more than your looks. Dating app culture has created an environment where people have so many options that no one wants to commit. And people's views of dating is more polarizing than ever.
You need to ignore her, bro.
I am so tired of feeling like it's never gonna be my turn to find love.
Don't talk to her. Don't text her for a week. You're gonna be amazed at what happens next.
These are some very bare minimum standards to be setting, and why does it feel so impossible for them to meet?
I've always disliked the idea of always ignoring somebody just so they can remember me, and then I text them a week later and all of a sudden they're interested. It makes no sense to me. I don't like playing these mind games, bro. I'm trying to get to know you, not know you a little bit, then don't text you for like a week. Rinse and repeat the same process over and over again.
One side of the internet will tell you that women are too picky and need to lower their standards, whilst the other side says that women aren't picky enough and need to raise their standards.
Attractive women cannot afford to date down.
How attractive a woman is directly correlated to how faithful they'll be in a relationship.
I don't really care if this sounds mean. I can't respect a man who's done worse at life than me. How did you do worse in a system that was designed to help you do better?
Some people think that women have it worse with hookup culture, situationships, whilst other parts of the internet think that men have it worse.
Dating apps are uniquely depressing from a guy's perspective because you send out all these likes, then only a fraction of those likes turn into matches.
Why is it so hard to find a man who respects you and your time?
I feel like most people on dating apps use the app as like an ego boost, and they don't actually care about going out on a date or meeting up with someone.
Men have just turned dating apps into like an easier way to access convenient sex.
We have never been at more polar opposite ends of the spectrum.
The thing with dating apps is solely just for confidence boost. I think she even says it in the video, or she plays a clip in the video talking about that. Due to the fact that so many people are getting these likes and these swipes and stuff like that, they're feeling essentially an ego boost and not looking for love, which is what many people tend to look for in relationships, that love connection.
How opposing our views are, and how it makes perfect sense that we're struggling to date. Like the culture of men on dating apps and the culture of women on dating apps, the perceptions that we all have of each other is just totally different. And I feel like that's why a lot of us are just struggling right now.
She shows a clip of Myron, bro. Anybody that watches Fresh and Fit for dating advice are already cooked from the start. I'm sorry, but if you're taking advice from somebody who doesn't have a good history and also charge you like $500 a month for the worst dating advice you could find on the market, you're cooked.
In terms of hookup culture in general, I know that's a huge thing that makes people struggle with dating. I've not really got involved with hookup culture. It's not really my thing. I do know it's just a guaranteed way to get into maybe a situationship, and that's something that a lot of women struggle with right now. Is like guys want the benefits, the circumstances, and the feeling of a relationship, but then they don't really want the label of one.
Yo, I absolutely hate situationships, talking stages, all the stuff, bro. Hookup culture, fuck all that shit, man. I'm gonna be honest with y'all. Simply due to the fact that I could meet a lovely woman, we get to know each other, we have similar interests. Anytime we're talking to each other, we have fun and stuff like that. Or, she just puts my birthday on her calendar with a little heart next to it. And then I'm sitting here thinking, hey, I actually might, get with this girl because she looks like that she's into me. And then when I ask the question, I always get a similar response to, I just want to be friends. And then you sit and wonder, what was the point of all of this? Like, why would you make signals and signs that seem to be that you're kind of interested in me, but then when I start to feel the vibe, it just all goes away? Sure, you can make the argument that you're being friendly, but where do you cross the line of being friendly and then being outright like a flirty person?
I don't know if it's just me, but I also feel like men are just sick of women and women are just sick of men.
Half of Gen Z men no longer actively even trying to date. They're not even trying. And so the question is, well, why is that happening for women? Women, first off, are dating older. They want more economically and emotionally viable men, and that usually means older men. In addition, when young women are lonely, they have much better social networks. They have much stronger friend networks, whereas guys become kind of lone wolves and kind of literally sequester from everyone and everything.
What he said about women having the social networks and when they get lonely, I guess they have friends, I totally see that. I literally saw a girl, I think I'm probably going to watch her video next. I literally saw a girl kind of complaining about the male loneliness epidemic. Maybe not complaining, but she was definitely like having a rant where she basically said like, I don't feel bad for men. She was saying like, whose fault is this? The patriarchy. You guys created this system and now you're not happy with it. If you don't open up, it's not our fault. Women actually open up. Women open up to their friends. I think a huge problem with a lot of these things is that people are so general. Like there's such a generalization. Even just saying like women have social networks. A lot of women don't. Like so many women have toxic friends, or so many women I feel like they literally don't have any friends. All they have is their family. Maybe they don't even have their family. It's such a generalization. And then, you know, the girl that was talking about, I don't feel bad for men, like men need to open up and stuff. Like some men do open up. Some, like, all these things are so general that they actually don't even make any sense after a while, because it's like you're talking about a small group of people and then painting it as if like the whole gender is that way.
The thing with men not being able to open up to their significant other is the fact that when they do and then they get into a small argument with said significant other, it somehow goes right back at them. So as a guy, you tend to question, why would I open up to the woman of my life, the woman that I love, but then whenever we get into a small argument, she uses it against me? It makes no sense. Hence why the whole toxicity thing comes into play. Like, yes, both men and women can have toxic friends. It does happen. Saying that women have social networks can be true, but also people just have toxic friends in their life sometimes and they don't even recognize it.
In the comments of this video, people were saying, I can't afford a girlfriend. You've got to be making 100k a year to afford a girlfriend now. Rather just focus on myself. It feels as if love is dead. No loyalty, no authenticity, no love, no friendship.
The comment that she reads where the dude is like, I feel like love is dead, no loyalty, no love, no friendships. I feel like that's how a lot of people in Gen Z are feeling like these days. They believe that love doesn't actually exist due to the fact that we're going back to hookup culture and situationships again, simply because no one actually wants to, lay low and, settle down and shit, which it's still true. People do want to settle down, have kids and have a long family life and, date one person forever, right? That does still happen, don't get it twisted. But the fact that it's so rare is what makes people question love.
Everything is an ick or a red flag these days. I'd rather be alone than have my feelings be used against me down the line.
Hey, that red flag and ick shit, that's really true in a lot of cases, because I was talking to this girl one time and she told me straight up that the fact that my favorite artist is Logic is a red flag in and of itself. Like, what the fuck, dude? Say what you want about Logic. You can hate him, you can love him. I don't really give a shit. I know that I love his music and that's just my opinion. If you don't fuck with my opinion, that's fine. I don't really give a shit. But my point is, how is that considered a red flag? I would understand that you're not a fan and you don't like his music. That's fine. But to say that it's an ick or a red flag is just fucking stupid. Then the second part of the comment is, I'd rather be alone than have my feelings be used against me down the line, is what I quite literally mentioned about a few minutes ago, where in an argument, women just use your feelings against you. And the same thing can apply to men as well. Why bother even opening up to somebody if my feelings are going to get used against me in an argument down the line? It just makes no sense. Hence why a lot of men don't open up. And the same thing can apply to women as well.
My thing is, I wonder how long this will last, because ultimately you can kind of ignore women. Like, I want to focus on myself. Let me just kind of sort out my career, focus on myself. And as a woman, you can say, I'm just happier alone. I've got my friends. I don't need a man in my life. We can all say that, but at the core, we will all crave some level of companionship. And I don't necessarily mean a relationship per se, because we're social creatures. Like, we need connection with other people. We need companionship and to be part of a tribe. It's the reason why, like, your life could be going perfectly. Like, you can have the career that you want. You can focus on your career, make the money, or you can, like, I don't know, like, things could be thriving for you. But if you don't have either really close friends or you don't have a relationship, you would feel like something is missing.
And that right there, ladies and gentlemen, is what I was relating to and have felt for a very long time. I felt like life was going so good, but then the one aspect in my life was I could never get into a relationship with somebody. Why was it so difficult for me to find somebody who loves me for me? Meanwhile, my friends and people that I'm close to can easily get into a relationship with no worries whatsoever. Our lives could be so good, and we think to ourselves that our lives could be even better if we had somebody there that also loved me for me while I'm enjoying this nice life. Hence why my mentality nowadays is you either know me now or I'm going to meet you after the fame.
With that being said, I think it's healthy to have a single period of your life. Like, I love how people are talking about focusing on themselves and like just doing things for them, because I think if you have a busy, thriving life outside of your relationships, I feel like you can then come to a relationship as a much more whole person.
I 100% agree with what she's saying. It's okay to have that single period in your life where you're focusing on yourself. You know, you're either working out, taking care of your mental health. Maybe you're more outgoing than ever, or you got into a new hobby and you just want to keep focusing on that. Like, that's completely fine. But then at night, where it kind of gets you the most, you sit and wonder, damn, will I ever find love?
Another thing, I feel like people are very motivated by fear in the dating scene now, rather than being motivated by hope. Like, a lot of people in these comments are kind of sharing things about like how they don't have their feelings hurt, or what's the point of opening up? Like, I'm so traumatized. I feel like people are so scared now to get into relationships, and it's absolutely valid if you've had bad experiences. Everyone has. But it's also one of those things that it just comes with the territory. You can't really navigate the dating scene without having your feelings hurt.
She's not wrong. There isn't any way to like jump over the fact that your feelings are going to get hurt. It's going to sadly happen, even if you do it in the nicest way possible. There's this whole debate on ending on good terms and bad terms. I've always thought if you end on good terms, yeah, your feelings are going to be hurt, but that resolvement is 100% cleared. You both understand each other and you both end on good terms. No one's emotionally crying or something like that. No one's trying to like gaslight you or convince you to stay. If you're both falling out of love, then it just makes sense to essentially end on good terms and leave it at that.
Like, what's wrong if you catch feelings? Like, just catch the feelings. You're not going to die. And I was like, you're right, actually. She was like, we're so scared of catching feelings, but like catching feelings is normal. Like, that is just what happens.
It's true. We are scared to catch feelings, even though it's a normal thing to do. But the thing is, if it's a person that you've talked to before, had feelings for before, and let's say you got rejected, but then a month or two goes by, you guys started to talk again. Maybe you did the trick of telling her happy birthday, and then you guys will start conversing once again. Those feelings can come back, and that's what people are scared of. This is only for like if you're talking to somebody again after a while and you've had feelings for previously. You're scared to catch them because you know that they don't feel how you feel, if that makes sense. You know that you like them and you want to commit full time with them, but they just don't feel that way with you. And that's what's scary. Scary to catch feelings for somebody again when you know they don't feel the same way towards you. But then there's also the aspect of catching feelings when you know you shouldn't, or catching feelings when you don't even want to be in a relationship, or catching feelings for your friend or whatever. There's so many aspects when one says you were scared to catch feelings that realistically you could go in depth with any single one of those aspects, like I just did for one example.
Which brings me on to my next point, which is we don't date people, we date avatars. A lot of us have a weird obsession with like the idea of a partner that we want. Like the avoidant attachment style that I was talking about. People that are avoidant have like this fantasy of what the perfect partner is, and they seem to constantly on dating apps chase that person, and if you don't meet all the criteria and tick all these boxes, like they're gonna leave. Social media does not help with this because I feel like we all have an idea of what every single celebrity relationship has going on. Like if you spend at least 10 minutes on Instagram, like you know who's broken up with who's just been surprised in a hotel room with like the roses and the petals, and who's just got like, I don't know, a car gifted to them for their birthday. Like you have such an idea of what other people are doing in their relationships that it makes you think, okay, this is what I want as well. If he's not going to do this for me, then I don't really want him. Or likewise, if my girl doesn't look like this, then or she's not bad enough for me. Like she's not attractive enough. Like I only only want a girl that looks like this.
Social media has most definitely, it had an impact, if I can speak, on the realm of dating, because you can go on Instagram, TikTok, and you see like this couple with like all these balloons and these flowers around the bed and stuff like that, and then you're reading the comments of like, oh my god, if he would, he could, or some shit like that. And so it gives people this high standard of what to do in a relationship. And also preferences come into play as well. Like if a dude wants a girl to have an hourglass body, then that's what his preference is. Women also have preferences as well. Both have preferences. I feel like this is normalized, but men get cooked the hardest about it for some reason. Unless I'm tripping. I might be tripping. Who fucking knows?
Another huge problem we have is unlimited options, or the idea that we have unlimited options, because do we actually have unlimited options? Well, I don't know. The quality of people on dating apps isn't always up to what you think it is. And I stand by that. I think people act like, oh, as a woman, you always have so many options. Like you easily get likes, you easily get matches. The quality though. And maybe even as a guy as well. People always like to talk about how a guy that's in the top 10% attraction wise will get access to a lot more women. But I'm convinced, I don't know if the quality of those women are really like what you think they are. If a woman is attracted to you mainly because of your looks, is that a woman that you want? And it goes both ways. I think if you're a girl and you're like genetically gifted, like you look amazing in your photos, and you're only kind of portraying one side of your personality and only showing like very visually appealing photos, but not as much personality, and guys like you just for how you look, I don't know if the quality of that is really what you want.
See, the ideology of unlimited options is obviously based on how attractive you are. If you're a really attractive person, of course you're going to seem to have unlimited options because people want you left and right. But then it's like what she was saying. Just because you're attractive doesn't mean your personality is good too. Imagine you're just an attractive person, but your personality is fucking garbage. Is that a person that you really want to commit to for a full-time relationship? And I think that's what a lot of people in Gen Z struggle with, that emotional aspect, the emotional maturity, because if you're not emotionally dependent on somebody, then why are you in a relationship? Just because they're attractive, just because they got money, then it's not a real relationship, I guess. You're just there for the money. You're just there because he's attractive and you won the fucking race, right? So there's no point. One last thing, I quickly want to get back to the talking stage aspect of it, because as a person that has never, made it past the talking stage, whenever I'm talking to a new girl, I can confidently tell you that the talking stage is fucking pointless if you're both feeling each other. Like, if Shawty feeling me and I'm feeling her, let's just get together and then learn and grow as the relationship continues. Like, is that a crazy take to say? I don't think it is. And then I even forgot to mention this, low key, friends with benefits. I feel like friends with benefits is the equivalent of situationships. It's just that you guys are just fucking as friends, which does happen, by the way, more often than not, more than most people would think. So honestly, if you're deciding on like, oh man, I don't really want to put a label on this shit, you might as well just be friends with fucking benefits, dude. Even though that whole concept is fucking stupid in and of itself, but I don't fucking know anymore, guys. But to go back to my original thesis and lyric that I mentioned at the start of this video, so can I love? I've already asked. Who would have known matters of the love would be such a task? Can you guys tell this video is pretty long? I'm tired. So yes, you can love, but it's pretty difficult and a task in and of itself to love somebody else. But the thesis was, does Gen Z have a dating problem? We most definitely do when you really get deep into it, but I feel like all of that aside, there are genuinely good people around that really are fiending and want a long-term relationship. It does absolutely happen. But what I will tell you from being around the commentary space for a very long time is that these red pill people, these alpha male podcast motherfuckers, will give you the worst advice I will ever hear on the internet. And I've only been doing content shit for about 2 years, on and off, but more consistently this year. I don't like these red pill people. These motherfuckers give you shit advice for outrageously expensive courses and shit like that. It's all fucking stupid. Your friends that are in relationships can give you better advice than these red pill motherfuckers. Trust me. And honestly, I think I'm gonna leave it at that, ladies and gentlemen. If you made it all the way through this very long video, I respect you. Thank you so much. And yeah, that's really about it. I'm going to leave the video in the description down below if you want to watch it yourself in full. The video in and of itself is about 24 minutes long, so it's a very good video from start to finish, I will tell you guys. And yeah, that's really about it. Like the video if you did enjoy, and I will see you guys in the very next video. Enjoy the holiday. If you celebrate Thanksgiving, happy Thanksgiving, shit like that. You already know how that be. I will be munching on some good food. And yeah, that's about it. Peace.